first had the idea for Kate's character, Emma's character, Kate, it was a very practical reason. I had been up to do a job as a director for Emma's a film she had done called Nanny McPhee, which is a children's film she had written. And I went up for the job as a director, and I didn't get the job. But Emma saw my first film, which was called Jump Tomorrow, and really liked the film, and took a meeting with me and said, "I'm sorry, Nanny McPhee's not for you, but I'd love to work together." And so I went away thinking, should do something with that, and I sort of sat down and sort of thought up a character that she could play, and then sort of Kate came out. And then originally Harvey was Japanese, actually. He was from another script I was writing about a Japanese businessman, and Harvey started his life as being Japanese, and then I just didn't want it to be about miscommunication or like not being able to communicate. And so I was living in New York at the time, and so the Anglo-American thing was very familiar to me, and so it was like, oh no, Harvey must be American. And it sort of grew like that, really through the characters. And you know, it's not a very complicated story, it's a very sort of simple story.
Meet me here tomorrow, okay?
What?
Right here, right on the spot. Noon, okay?
What about your flight?
I don't have to go.
When I actually came down to write the first draft, I had Dustin and Emma in my head, and that I felt, you know, really helpful. You know, I think actors sometimes find it a bit strange when you do that, or if you say to them, "Oh, I've written this for you," and they were like, "You don't know me." But no, I found it very, just imagining them playing the parts, I found it very much easier to write. And I, you know, luckily, you know, I knew I could get the script to Emma, and then Emma gave the script to Dustin. So it was, you know, a real sort of fairy tale in terms of like getting who I wanted. She sort of delivers, and you sort of take it for granted because you get very used to it, and oh yeah, no, Emma's doing it, sort of thing. And in a way, when I put her performance together in the edit room, in some ways it was more a revelation to me, because you know, when it became a whole, it became all that you just suddenly saw all the little things she was doing, that when we were actually filming, I didn't pay attention. I thought, oh, she's doing good work, and I didn't really see the detail. And when you put it together, you really see the detail. Whereas with Dustin, he put in, because he was doing something different every take. He was, you know, he would always be doing something rather amazing on set. You'd feel it. And so you were thinking, oh, this is going to be really amazing. And it was. He did a really good performance, an amazing performance. But I was sort of expecting it in a way. Just in terms of their style, yes, you know, Dustin will, you know, each take will be very different. And my challenge was, because we didn't have a lot of money, was to make sure that I got coverage, you know. Like if he did something particular in that angle, then when we went for the wide, I make sure I get it. And occasionally, you know, we didn't have enough time. You know, I'd have to say to Dustin, you know, I need you to do it like this because we're running out of time. And I mean, what he's great at is giving you just stuff, just as, you know, just variety, and as well as, you know, he's also wants to give you what you've written as well. He'll give you sort of your version and then his version, and you know, a combination of the two, but it's always different. I find older people more interesting. Just they have experienced more things, they've got more sort of baggage, you know, more things that they have collected along the way, more problems, I guess, they've collected along the way. And I just find them, as a writer and a dramatist, they're just more interesting. There's more to play with. And also, yeah, I wanted to work with Emma, and she is, you know, she is the age she is, and so it became sort of natural, sort of heading in that direction. But it was never like, I was never like sat down and said, okay, I want to make a film about, you know, love for older, you know, it wasn't conscious like that. It was sort of character driven again. I wanted to show a sort of elegant London, I think. I'd been living in New York for 12, 13 years, and I'm from London originally, but I hadn't been there, and so I was a little bit, when I wrote this in New York, I think I was a little homesick for London, and so I think I wrote quite a romanticized version of London. And then when I came back, went location scouting. I was finding things for like the first time, like for instance where we shoot the fountain scene. When I lived in London, that used to be a car park, and since I've been away, they've turned it into a fountain and you know, made it a new public space. So it was quite exciting going back and sort of discovering London, and you know, seeing it with sort of fresh eyes. But yeah, so I think because a lot of my American friends would always say, "Oh, Paris, Paris," and they go, "Oh, London, yeah." And I think I wanted to show, because London's always slightly Paris's sort of ugly cousin or whatever, and I wanted to show, you know, slightly more. There is this more sort of elegant side to London than perhaps you see in more, I don't know, a Mike Leigh film or something. But in the same breath, I didn't want it to be like working title, where you just have this very sort of, I find it quite fake London, sort of chocolate boxy London. I wanted to try and find somewhere in between the two, I guess.